Okay. Best-selling game of the year. Best game of the year. Best game of the century. Best Harry Potter game. Almost a masterpiece. Oh wait, I was not planning on playing the game at first. I saw a couple of trailers and almost instantly realized that this game is mostly made for Harry Potter universe fans and that's it. The game looked good, but after seeing these facial animations and dialogues, I got weird flashbacks from the past.
And decided to take me down?
Something like that.
Shit.
Not sure what was that. And after all these positive reviews, I was like, is this game really that good? I don't trust video games anymore. And I'm not gonna touch the Twitter drama around this game, as I got to some point where I just don't want to sacrifice my whole nerve system while digging deep into it. But this is kind of funny. The guy who took part in development is now apologizing for that. Don't worry dude, you did motion capture for this game. You better apologize for that instead. Also, someone even created a list of bad streamers who dared to play the game to apparently hand it to a god during the second coming. I like our society. That's incredible. God damn it, I'm doing this again. Enough of the internet for today. But even after a huge drama, the game still managed to break a lot of records. So everything starts from the creation of the player. You will not sit here for a long time, as we cannot create a ridiculously ugly character. After that, the game pretty rapidly throws us into the story explaining that we are not a regular kid and apparently we are the only key to save the world. Okay, not that complicated. Then the main villain shows up a few minutes after we read about him in a newspaper and we escape as we are not ready yet. We are special, and that's why the guy wants to capture us and get our power. This is basically all you have to know about the plot. After the prologue, you can forget about the main story for a big chunk of time as you are presented to a open world of the game, which is, I'm going to admit, looks pretty good. The visuals look really decent and I didn't notice any critical bugs. Yeah, right? Yeah, we need to thank God for no bugs in 2023. Obviously, everything here is trying to remind you about the movie atmosphere. All these corridors, classrooms, halls are made with a big amount of details. Statues and pictures on the walls are occasionally moving and even sometimes doing their own scripted events. This is really effective trick to bring immersiveness to anyone who is playing this game, not only the Harry Potter fan. Not even the Hogwarts itself, but the world around it tries to be alive. People in Hogsmeade doing their chores and chatting about their daily routine problems. Every store is made with its own authentic style and you don't want to leave until checking all the details in the room. You can create your own magic wand and customize it to a high detail level. You can choose the faculty or let the hat do it. You can build your own room with a ton of customizable objects that are actually usable. The open world is really trying to be immersive and versatile. Dungeons are not completely the same and some of them have their own unique style, so exploring them feels not that boring. After walking into the Forbidden Forest, I felt a bit uncomfortable in a good way. So I guess this game makes you feel like Harry Potter. I'm sorry. But then, turns out you actually have to do your storyline, which is, oh my god. Almost immediately, I started realizing what is going on. The game makes you sit and wait for the end of this eternal suffering before you can start actually playing the game. The devs seem to not really care about making a solid dialogue system where I don't have to look at these creepy facial movements of literally every character in the game. So they decided to make you look at this for the half of the playtime. Excellent! Usually games do similar dialogue concept in order to give you some quick quest context, but here, holy shit, with time it gets unbearable to listen to all these tons of text lines like I am playing Disco Elysium, except Disco Elysium is a great game. Every character is trying to tell you the story of their boring life for no particular reason.
I transferred here from Wagadu just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Well, it's been nice talking and competing with you.
And the problem could have been less visible if the characters were at least a bit interesting. But the voice acting in this game is so ridiculously generic that after playing a few side quests you will be skipping all the voice lines that can take up to a couple of minutes of listening just to bring some apparently very important item afterwards. I don't know, I skipped the dialogue.
I hope your new astrolabe brings you nothing but sorrow.
Why? Even in the main quest, you will be able to actually play the game only after listening to the explanation of how the universe works. God And you may think that at least main dialogues can be interesting and can tell us some complicated stories about duality of human being or any social problem that were present in the magic world in the original books to make us wonder about serious things like we had to do in old Harry Potter games. Nope, no conflict, no serious topic, every character is either bad or good, the power of friendship always wins, and so on. The story writers gave us some familiar names like Weasley or Black, but these characters are there only to reference to Harry Potter movie. Like look, this guy is actually a relative of that guy. Yeah, I remember that. Maybe we can get some backstory of the character we already know from Harry Potter universe from the character of this game. That would be great, right Avalanche? They have been added to the game just to bring some nostalgia, and you can see this trick pretty often. Obviously you can meet Ollivander, and obviously you can fly a hippogriff above the lake. Don't get me wrong, all these things can be in the game, and I would say they even need to be there, but they're so flat and empty, they don't tell any story, and the game itself doesn't really think that that could be interesting for us. The story is obviously written for children, but I'm pretty sure most of the universe fans are already grown up, and all these references are added to the game to bring nostalgia to an older audience. So who is this made for? It just doesn't feel special. But you know who is special? This guy. Everyone is so kind to a main character, he's almost a perfect figure. A hero after all. All the NPCs are ready to rely on him even though they met him just a few seconds ago. And you know why? Because we killed a troll at the beginning of the game. That's it. This is literally the plot device for most of the side quests till the end of the game. Dude, I was just fat trolling for 5 minutes, chill. The side quests are not that bad. Some of them are actually trying to tell a story and open a character for us, but they're mostly skipped because of the reason I mentioned above. It's just not really worth playing most of them, especially clearing the avant-posts, which is not really side quest, rather a side activity, but I personally don't get what is the point of allowing us to capture it and then observing poachers coming back like nothing happened, even though the game is repeatedly telling us about the problem that exists in the world, but fixing it doesn't really fix it. So maybe the battle system is decent. Well, it is kind of. The battle system is developing with the game progression. It feels fast and balanced. Reactive gameplay during fights keep you in a high tempo where you have to combine spells to break different types of shields in order to deal damage, dodge red attacks and counter yellow attacks with the possibility of breaking shields and do additional damage if timed correctly, and literally pressing a lot of buttons, which is really satisfying as the flow of the fight is always smooth because of the decent level design and small amount of annoying mechanics that would break your combo. Most of arenas are filled with throwable objects that you can sometimes literally spam to clear the level, plus combining your spells that have different attack range and mechanics. The game tries to let you be creative with a big amount of spells and moving really fast in order to keep every enemy in sight. You can also cast your ultimate ability, which is basically a delete button for enemy. Enemies in this game is a bit different story. They're not that diverse. Mostly you will be fighting goblins and sometimes human, guardian statues and spiders. And sometimes you're lucky enough to fight versus these big boys. They don't have any special attacks or any different moving patterns. Most of the time they just charging into you and allow you to spam spells till they're dead. But still the system feels pretty convenient and the game is not trying to punish you too hard. And then this dude is like, dog, maybe you should try learning all of this absolutely not forbidden and completely safe spells that you will not be put into jail for. Sounds fun. So, are there any other reasons to play this game? Well, the game tries to be rewarding. All the side quests and exploring are not meaningless. You always get something for doing any sort of activity. Exploring dungeons and solving puzzles is pretty exciting at the beginning, but it starts being a bit repetitive in the middle of the game. The collectibles are not hard to find, and you will always meet some of them just walking by, and eventually you will end up catching almost all of them. Random puzzles that you can find anywhere in the game are not hard to solve either, but they will take some time to think. You will get a reward and a quick rest from the main quest, and because of that, even the side quests can keep you in the game for hours, which is rather good than bad. The one thing that I was really disappointed about is the simulation of some sort of studying process. There are no marks system, no lessons that you have to attend to pass the exam, no final exam. All we got is a small amount of quests at the beginning of the game and cutscenes that only show us that we attended the lesson and now it's over. And after that, the whole process of being a Hogwarts student goes to do some nonsense stuff somewhere else, and I will give you your next spell. And you can't skip them. There's literally the requirement to do them to proceed through the main quest chain. Adding some interesting simulation mechanics would allow us to get some side story of each teacher, which could lead to some possible character development. I want to spend more time inside Hogwarts, but the game constantly pushing me to go outside. And that is pretty subjective, but it is a problem for me. I guess I just expected some bully experience. Even the legendary global faculty ranking system where Gryffindor always wins is not present in the game. However, the teachers sometimes mention these points for completing a successful action, but again, they are here only to reference to the original Harry Potter. There are no such in-game mechanics. I'm not even mentioning the missing Quidditch minigame, which is simply weird. Oops, just mentioned. I'm not going to spoil the whole story, even though you will not lose much. It's just really mediocre. Main evil guys are just evil, we fight them and then we win. And we also got bad and good endings that we obviously choose at the very end of the game. I may be sometimes too negative, but the game is not bad, it's just overrated. All the visuals and decent gameplay can really be interesting to try, and I got myself involved into it for some time. The devs nailed the atmosphere and battle system, but is it enough? I don't know. The open world is really big, but maybe it had more sense to cut it a bit and put the work into more tight and interesting mechanics in order to make the player feel like he's an actual Hogwarts student and not the Goblin Slayer machine.